So here is the opportunity that I was speaking about in case you would like to work with me. So I'm trying to organize a lot of offline events. Now, in case you want to help me out in terms of organizing it, we can figure it out. So if you go and ask your parents or grandparents how difficult or easy was it to start any business, they would say that it was very difficult. There was a reason behind that thought process, and the thought process was that majority of the businesses in the past used to be very capital intensive. For example, if you take a look at traditional businesses, they would build out factories, they would hire a lot of labor, they would have to get a lot of clearances, get into taking licenses, do a lot of jugaad. So these were all very capital oriented businesses. But in the modern day, what has happened is that this capital intensive nature of the businesses, it has gotten completely transformed. Now, a lot of businesses are very light, they are less capital intensive. A classic case in point would be something like Instagram that was built by a team of less than 10 engineers, and it went on to become like $1 billion company. So the point that I'm trying to drive home is fairly simple, that nowadays it is much easier to create businesses. And on this video, I'm going to speak about 5 businesses that you can start with zero capital. So the first business that you can start with literally zero money is called as agency business. Now, what exactly is agency business? Let me try to explain that in very easy to understand terms. So, these days you might have seen the rise of the content creator economy. On the content creation side, there are two types of parties involved. One is that there are content creators like me who make YouTube videos, Instagram reels, etc., etc. And on the other side of the equation, there are brands. For example, consider upGrad, which is a platform through which you can take a lot of education-oriented courses. And I'm linking some of my courses in the comment box. So these type of brands want to work with content creators like me. For example, through this video, I'm talking about upGrad. Now, upGrad would want to partner with content creators like me because we are into that knowledge-oriented space. I make a lot of videos around case studies, finance, education, etc. And upGrad as a brand would want to enhance knowledge about that brand by partnering up with influencers like me. So agencies come somewhere in the middle. They help partner content creators with these big brands, and in the middle they take a bit of commissions. Now comes the natural question that, hey, if I'm running an agency, then how much money can I potentially make? Well, the going rate can range anywhere from, let's say, 3% all the way to 20% also. But generally, typically for any deal that is brokered between influencers and the brand, these agencies on an average would charge somewhere around 7 to 8%. So depending on the volumes of the deals, how many deals you are brokering on each month basis and what the size of that deal is, you could make even up to several lakhs or even crores as an agency. So this is the overall typical business model. Now would come the natural question that, hey, what type of skills would I require? Now you would require a bunch of business oriented skills. Again, I'm linking some of my favorite courses from upGrad in the comment box. Do go and check it out. But here are top 3 typical skills that I would say that you would require as an agency owner. So as an agency owner, you must have 3 critical skills. First and foremost, you must have broad business skills. What is the meaning of broad business skills? That you must have a 360-degree viewpoint of business. Now, it's not as if that you require an MBA or there is specific degree that you would need to pursue, but you must have a basic general overview of how running a business is like. So you must understand a little bit about corporate communication. How is it that you should be writing emails, drafting proposals, all this stuff, so that you can send out your viewpoint or your proposal to different brands and different influencers. So this is the first critical skill that you must have. On top of that, you must have a little bit of marketing skills. You must understand a little bit about the influencer economy. So this overall perspective on business is absolutely critical for you as an agency owner. Second critical skill is the networking skill, because this type of business can be started by literally anyone. There is no barrier to entry here. As long as you are good in networking with influencers and you are good in networking with companies, you become a very strong party in the middle and you would be able to broker more and more deals. So comes the natural question that, hey, how would I pick up networking skills? What are some of the key things that I require, etc., etc. So here, first and foremost thing that you must understand is that you must have a story of your own. So what is meaning of story? So for example, if you are an agency owner, you have just started your company and you are trying to figure out your first corporate client, the brand, and your first influencer with whom you can work. So what story you can go and pitch to them? Just think about it. Why would they want to work with you? So that is called as having your own personal story, and you must be great at creating that 1-minute pitch. Learn to create this 1-minute pitch about you that becomes a part of your storytelling narrative, and you must be really, really good at it, because that can help you land your first set of clients. So this is the second key skill that you must have. Third and finally, it is all about corporate communication and negotiation, because you have to negotiate both with the influencers and with the brands on the other hand. So unless you have good negotiation skills, you would not be able to make money as an agency owner. And on the flip side, once you get the project, you must align both the influencer and the brand. So you need to constantly negotiate between the deliverable, what is there, how much money you are going to make, etc., etc., and keep everyone happy. So this is a people's oriented business. You don't require any special skill, and you can make up to lakhs running this business. The absolute starting point, if you want to learn about agency business, is please go and attend some social media events and start creating your network. Having that network is going to be critical. Start building some connects with influencers, comment on their post, engage with them, tell them how you can add value to their work, etc. And on the flip side, start meeting the marketing team of different startups. Once both these engines start turning, that is when you can kickstart your agency and start minting money. So the second business that you can start with zero money is called as copywriting business. Now, what is the meaning of copywriting business? You might have seen a lot of influencers saying that, you know what, come attend this webinar, it's only 500 rupees, and then I will upsell you my course. So when you click on that link, you are directed to a website. What do you read? You are writing a sales copy. And who writes that? Copywriters write that. So what do copywriters do? They help write sales copies. Now this can be put on a blog, this can be put on a webinar, this can be put on a certain write-up, etc., etc. Now, do you need to be a PhD in English, or do you need to have a master's degree in English? No, you don't even require any degree. What is it that you require? So a range of skills, but I will summarize three very important key skills. So first and foremost, you must understand the basics of little bit of clickbait marketing. Now, what is clickbait marketing and clickbait writing? There must be a very clear flow, very clear hook to whatever you are writing, so that people continue to read whatever you have written on the blog post or the website content or webinar content, etc. So you must be really good at clickbait type of a writing. That is the first key essential skill. Second key thing, you must understand how does marketing work. There is a website called as marketingexamples.com. You can go and read some of the good copywriting samples there. It will give you an understanding of how copywriters actually write original stuff. So if this field appeals to you, then you could think becoming about a copywriter. Third and final skill is that you must be a little bit creative, because whenever copywriters write copies, and after 5, 6, 7 months, almost everyone would start copying a good copy, then you have to innovate and become something else. So you must be creative, you must understand marketing, you must be able to use in the moment marketing type of concepts also many a times in order to write stellar copies. Now comes the natural question that, okay, as a copywriter, how much money can I make? So these days I see two typical models being followed by copywriters. One is that they charge as a percentage of revenue. For example, if let's say hypothetically, I am organizing a webinar and I am asking people that, you know what, go on this webinar, pay me 500 rupees, then I will upsell some product to you. So the person who is writing that copy for me might say, Akshat, that I will charge 2% of the entire revenues, whatever you are making. So that becomes a revenue sharing model. This is very new to this industry. It is not very easy to execute that unless you have had prior work experience of running some very successful campaigns. But this is the typical model that is getting instituted in this industry. And if you are a good copywriter, then you can ask for such revenue split. The second model is a more typical or a more standard model, which is charging a fixed amount of money. For example, you could say that, Akshat, I'll help you write your copy. Pay me like 10,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, whatever that money is. And then I'll pay you that money and you write a particular copy for me. So this is typically how the model flows. Again, you do not require any massive degree. You do not require insane amount of money to get started. In fact, you can literally get started at 0 rupee. So comes the final question. So where do you get started and how do you start finding clients? Not very easy, but LinkedIn is a great medium. These days, I'm seeing a lot of marketing-oriented professionals, copywriters coming on LinkedIn, trying to project their expertise. They try to communicate on the LinkedIn community that they are expert at copywriting, and through that, they start getting their first set of clients. So if your question is that how do I find my first client? Literally, you need to come on LinkedIn and start writing 100, 200 posts on copywriting, generate traction for your own content, and then you will be much better placed convincing your target audiences or target clients that you might be a good copywriter, and taking your help can help them generate more revenues, and you will be able to start your copywriting business. So with that said, let's move on to point 3. So the next business that you could start with zero money is social media management. Now, social media is a really big animal and there are different parts to social media. So let me just break it down into 3-4 key parts. So the first part is social media primary research. For example, many YouTubers, they have a research team that help them prepare scripts, write scripts, and then they finally prepare the script and give it to the content creator, and that person shoots the script. I don't do it. I write all my scripts on my own and I think about the topics on my own. So I don't have a research team, but many people do that. So that is social media research. So this is the first key part. Second key part is social media execution. So what happens is that, for example, when I write my own script, shoot the videos, etc., I give it to my manager and she ends up doing a lot of work. By the way, you can check her YouTube channel in the description box. So she helps me with a lot of stuff. For example, she coordinates with the video editing team, she works with the thumbnailing team, she works with the graphic design team and a bunch of other different teams, writing the subtitles and a bunch of different things that goes into finalizing the video. So depending on the type of platform you're familiar with and more comfortable with, you can build a team around these aspects. The final would be the social media promotion team. For example, a lot of people, they make only YouTube videos, and from that they will create like a thread, put it on Twitter, they will create some kind of slider, put it on LinkedIn, they will create some kind of post from it, put it on Reddit, subreddits, etc. So this is called as amplifying your social media reach. Now, depending on wherever you find your comfort zone, you can pick up any of these lines of work and create a business out of it. For example, I have been reached out by a lot of people. They say that, Akshat, we are like a social media execution team. We would love to put your content on this particular podcast. So can we do that? Similarly, we would want to amplify your content across these 5 different areas. So can we do that? So they have built businesses around each of these 3 domains. So now comes the natural question that, okay, fine, I would want to do this type of work. Do I need to pay anyone? No, you don't need to pay anyone, but you need to have the following 3 critical skills. One is that you must really understand social media. If you don't understand social media and at least the difference between good social content versus bad social content, you will not be able to do this job. So study social media well, study creators who are doing excellent across different platforms. You can go to them, you can tell them that, hey Akshat, I would want to help you out on this particular platform. For example, you might be doing really well on YouTube, but I have this specific game plan for you when it comes to your Instagram account. There, I see that you can accelerate a lot of your growth. And here are 5 points that I would recommend you. If your recommendation is really good, then any creator, including me, would reply to you. We would love to work with you and explore some kind of synergies. So that is literally the number 1 requirement in terms of picking up this type of job. The second would be the creative skills. So the entire social media is a highly creative game. You need to keep on reworking the type of content that you make and the type of content that sticks with the audience. So this is a game where you also would need to get very creative with time. So in case creativity is not something that comes naturally to you, probably this career path might not make a lot of sense. Third and finally, you must understand marketing, because YouTube is half marketing and it is half other skills. So you must be really good at marketing per se. Again, I will link a website. You can go and check it out. This is a free website. You can understand a little bit more about writing good marketing oriented templates. If you digest this type of information, then you can at least think about on getting on this career path. Then comes the final question, how much money can I make? It really depends on how many people you are working with. But if you catch on to 1 or 2 big creators, then you can easily make 1 to 2 lakh rupees a month. So comes the final question that I'm really interested in this career path. How do I get started? Okay. So you need to study different creators whom you want to work with. Tell them which specific area you would want to help them with and what your specific plan is. Write it down. Unless your recommendations are really good, no creator, even big or small, they would consider working with you. So if you want to build this business, studying good creators is literally the first step. So the next business that you could start with literally zero money is YouTubing. In order to become a YouTuber, all you need is a basic camera. Stand in front of that camera and start speaking. And hopefully you will start making crores. Well, that is not as easy as it sounds, because according to one of the credible studies that was done, there are 8 crore content creators in India. Only 1.5 lakhs are able to monetize their content, and out of that, less than 50% make more than 16,000 rupees a month. So this is a highly competitive career path, and I'm sure that you are getting a little bit depressed hearing this side of the equation, but I want to paint the correct picture. What is a better method here is that you must study YouTube as to what content creators are doing right now and how you can participate in it. For example, a lot of businesses are getting built around YouTube. A classic case in point is that almost every major creator runs some kind of live cohort based program. So these are live classes that they run and they require a lot of help. in terms of running those live classes. Now, can you come and help that creator run this type of a new business? That itself becomes a massive business for you. Now, if you can design some kind of messaging app around it, or if you can design some kind of tool around it, or if you can just help them operationalize it better, then it becomes a viable career path for you. So yes, I'm tagging it as YouTubing, but honestly, in order to make money from YouTube, you don't even need a YouTube channel. You can help others manage their stuff, and that itself can generate a lot of income for you. Now, this is a fairly new career path with very few people know about it, and as the YouTube community itself is progressing and expanding into multiple things, like from cohort-based programs to organizing offline meetups, to organizing a bunch of other specific online and offline programs, etc., you can step in and actually create a business out of it. So here is the opportunity that I was speaking about in case you would like to work with me. So I'm trying to organize a lot of offline events. Now, in case you want to help me out in terms of organizing it, we can figure it out. Send me a proposal on LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to hear your proposal, what your viewpoints and ideas are, and we can kickstart something together. From there on, of course, you can go on and cultivate and create your own businesses and help other creators do the same. So see, I am helping you create an opportunity here. So the final business that you could start with literally zero money is called as the drop shipping business. Now, this is already fairly big in Western countries, especially the US. A lot of people have started doing drop shipping business. So what exactly it is? Let me quickly explain. So drop shipping in very easy to understand terms means that you are not manufacturing anything. You are not shipping anything. You are not taking care of the logistics, for example, return of that shipment and all that stuff. You just have some kind of a merchandise and you are outsourcing the manufacturing of it, shipping of it, etc., and you are opening a digital store. So let me further clarify that by using an example. So let's say that you're a t-shirt designer and you design very good t-shirts. Now you don't have the time to go and figure out how to manufacture that t-shirt, or how to ship it to people, how to bring it back, etc., etc. So what you simply do is that you create 500 t-shirt designs. You start a digital store, which simply means open a website or go to a website like Shopify and start your digital store. And there you have created a part of your drop shipping business. So I hope you got the overall concept of what drop shipping business is. So the first step of creating your drop shipping business is identify a type of niche that you're already good at. For example, if you're an accomplished t-shirt designer, then that becomes your niche. Similarly, if you make very good paintings, then that is your niche. So identifying your niche is the number one area. Second key thing, you must cultivate some kind of distribution. For example, I get so many emails that Akshat, I am a very good artist. I make very good paintings, but I am not able to drop ship my paintings, or I am not able to drop ship my t-shirts. What is it that I should do? What is it that I should improve on? Well, as an artist, you might have no problem creating an art piece, but how would you sell it? For that, you need some kind of distribution. Now, creating distribution these days is very, very challenging. Not everyone can do it. You can explore a partnership model. So partnership model simply means that, for example, go and partner with influencer. So here is opportunity number 2 in case you are looking to start a t-shirt making business or a lifestyle oriented business, etc. Write to me and tell me what kind of digital storefront I can launch. For example, can I make like a t-shirt oriented business, or can I make like a journal writing business, or can I do some other thing on these fronts that helps people and is useful for the community that we have already built. So if I like that proposal, again, I would love to work with you, but this is an area where you can start experimenting. If you don't want to work with an influencer on this, that is completely cool. Figure out a way to start your distribution, and again, it might start just from creating content, but I hope that these 5 simple ideas gave you a perspective that these days you don't need massive amount of capital to start even $1 million businesses. You can easily start with zero money and scale it up. All you need is a little bit of creativity, intellect, hard work, etc. And more importantly, you must have the willingness to start. If you loved the video, do press the like button so that it reaches out to more people. Do subscribe to this channel as well. It will help with the channel's growth, and I will see you soon.